Good afternoon, everyone. I'd ask you to take your seats. We're going to start in a couple of minutes, so please take your seats and we'll get underway very, very shortly. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Tēnā koutou, nau mai haere mai, and welcome to the North Harbour Club Lexus of North Shore Charity Lunch. How's everyone doing? I'll do that one more time. How's everyone doing? There we go. Brilliant. It's so nice to be here today, and what a fantastic day we have in store for you. We're extremely lucky to have the Prime Minister of New Zealand joining us today, taking time out of his very busy schedule to be with us. It's been nearly 18 months since he was last here speaking, and he was in opposition then. It's been 6 months of having to wrangle David Seymour and Winston Peters, so I'm sure he has a lot to say over what it has been like to be leading the country for the last 6 months. We do have a little bit more to get through before he joins us, though, so I'd like to start by saying a very special thank you to our wonderful sponsor today, Lexus of North Shore, and to share what they have on offer today. Lexus, yeah, round of applause for Lexus. Lexus of North Shore is really proud to offer the all-new Lexus LBX. If you've never considered a Lexus before, think again. The new LBX does away with conventional grades and for the first time introduces a new range of mods designed to resonate with your lifestyle. To learn more, you can speak with one of the Lexus team here today. Tristan or Michelle will be very happy to answer any questions you may have. You can also reserve your drive of the new LBX or any other Lexus model you can. You can do so by scanning the QR code on your program located on each of your tables. You can also visit the Lexus of North Shore website or just drop down to the showroom in Wairau Valley for a coffee, and the team would be more than happy to have a chat. My name is Matty McLean, and it's a genuine privilege to be here today. You may recognize me from hosting the breakfast show on TV1 for the last 7 years, but I've stepped away and now I'm hosting an afternoon radio show on the Hits. I always got told I had a face for radio, so I thought I'd better put it into practice. I met Erin, the general manager of the club last year at the Urban Polo event, actually, and after just a couple of wines, she said, "You have to come along and MC one of our events for us." I truly thought it was a conversation both of us would forget the next day, but here I am. And it's so nice to be here. Truly, Erin is such a passionate advocate for the work that the club does, and it makes me feel really passionate to be here and be a very small part of what the club is trying to achieve today with this charity lunch. If you're a guest here today, thank you so much for joining us. We really hope you enjoy yourselves. The North Harbour Club was established 29 years ago, and their values are all about excellence. By attending their events and via their exciting auctions, membership, sponsors, and guests alike, you all raise money to support the rangatahi youth of the North Harbour region in their areas of excellence. And is there a better cause than that? What an amazing job. Can we get a round of applause for the work that the club does? We're actually going to hear from one of the young people that the club supported a little bit later on, and hear him play as well, hence the keyboard that's up here today. And I heard a little sneak peek. It is incredible. The club holds so many top-notch events to attend, like the Business Excellence Networking Breakfasts at the Regatta Bar and Eatery, their social next-gen networking events catering for their new and growing under-40s membership, but it is open to anyone. So if you would like to join, the club would love to have you. They've got charity lunches such as today, the Business Hall of Fame lunch, and their flagship events, of course, the AIMES Awards Gala Dinner. All the events and gatherings are such a great opportunity to network. I'm sure you're going to be doing that today. And it's never too early for a little glass of wine or a cheeky beer as well, I say. So enjoy yourselves today. Just a quick little bit of housekeeping. Toilets are located just outside the lobby. The venue today is non-smoking, so if you do need to smoke or vape, please leave the building. Don't use any of the doors at the back of the room, but in the event of an emergency, just follow the venue staff to the exits and they'll show you out really calmly. We do have a little photo competition running today. If you take a pic, all you've got to do is tag the North Harbour Club and Lexus of North Shore, add it to your Instagram or to your Facebook accounts as well. And the best pick or the judge's favorite will be notified by Friday next week with a fantastic prize up for grabs. A very, very nice bottle of Central Otago Pinot Noir signed by the Honourable Christopher Luxon. So get snapping, get posting, make sure you tag the North Harbour Club and Lexus of North Shore, and you could be walking away with that bottle of Pinot. We also have some incredible auction items up for grabs and exclusive money can't buy experiences for you today, including our upcoming live auctions for the Lexus of North Shore ASB Classic Courtside Box Experience, as well as the Lexus of North Shore Luxury Camping Weekend as well. If you have any problems registering during the lunch break, all you've got to do is visit the auction desk at the back of the room, and one of the lovely members of the North Harbour Club will be able to assist you and help you out, because we want you bidding as much as possible. We want to raise as much money as possible for the North Harbour Club today, and there's some fantastic auction items up for grabs. We also have a number of silent auction items available on Gala Bid for you to snap up. Those items are listed in your program and are on display at the back of the room as well, just on that long black table. So make sure you go and check them out, see what they've got on offer today, get bidding. Like I said, we would love, love, love to have as much interest as possible. You can't bid, though, if you're not signed up, so just use the QR code on the programs to register and check out the listings and then get bidding away. The silent auction does close at 2:35 on the dot, and throughout today's lunch we'll be able to give you some updates on the bidding as well. Thank you so much to everyone that's offered up these incredible prizes. Just a little bit more to get through, guys. It wouldn't be a North Harbour Club lunch without a raffle, and today we have an amazing personal vehicle detailing package donated by Lexus of North Shore worth $800. and a fantastic hamper from New World Milford up for grabs as well. If you haven't got your tickets already, Trust Board and committee members will be circulating during the lunch, and tickets can be purchased by cash or EFTPOS. Hey, remember that one of the main reasons we're here today, if I can get your attention please, one of the main reasons we are here today is to raise funds, which throughout our charity, reward young people aged 13 to 25 of the North Harbour region in our annual AIMES Awards program. So really, please, be generous for the sake of those kids that can desperately do with a helping hand and go on to do such amazing things as well. We also got a bonus draw today on arrival. Hopefully you've popped your business cards in the jar, sitting on the welcoming desk, or during the lunch it will be over on the gala bid desk. Up for grabs, we have 2 tickets to the September Lexus of North Shore lunch with guest speakers Sir Wayne Smith and Rick Solizzo. So ladies and gentlemen, if I can get your attention please, I appreciate this is a fantastic networking event, but we've also got some amazing speakers today, and if we can give them a little bit of attention and love, that would be amazing. Including our first speaker, I'd like to introduce North Harbour Club President Mike Atkinson to say a few words. Please welcome Mike to the stage.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's really awkward, isn't it, with that yummy plate of food in front of you and that hustle and bustle, that excitement in the air to network and chat away. And that's great, but if we can just grab a bit of attention for a few minutes, it's all about me, which is nice because really it's actually going to be shortly all about the Prime Minister. But I just got a couple of minutes to talk briefly about the club. So firstly, look, welcome. My name is Mike Atkinson. I'm lucky enough to be the president of this amazing North Harbour Club. It's an absolute privilege to be standing here for our first lunch, our Lexus of North Shore lunch for 2024. And what a great way to kick off with a sellout. In fact, oversubscribed lunch here today. And it's obviously a testament to the guest speaker, obviously draws a bit of a crowd wherever he goes. But it's also great to see the hard work of our club and our members still supporting in an environment which is quite challenging at this moment. I'd like to start by thanking our major sponsor for today, of course, which is Lexus of North Shore. Bob and Mark Jago have been long supporters of the club. They have continuously supported these lunch events for a number of years, and they're a great partner for the club. And I'd like to just formally welcome you guys and your guests today, so thank you for coming along. But of course, Lexus of North Shore is also recently been recognised as the leader in their field, as the distinguished recipient of the prestigious 2023 Lexus Supreme Award. And basically what that means is that they got judged on overall performance, their operation, the experience for a customer going into their environment. And so if you want to experience amazing, which is a pretty cool tagline to have, then why not go down to their state-of-the-art showroom in Link Drive in Wairau. Even on a day like today, it's still sunny inside. They've got smiling faces and plenty to entertain you. So go and check them out. They've got a great range of vehicles there. They're obviously fantastic supporters of the club. In addition to obviously welcoming those wonderful individuals to the room, I'd like to also welcome all of our members back. Obviously, a club would be pretty lonely without a group of members, so having club members is pretty critical, and I thank you all for yet again supporting the club for another exciting year and to turning up for events like these. So we wouldn't be able to do this without you all, so thank you to the members. Obviously, I'd like to also just extend a warm welcome to some special people in the room. Firstly, our Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, welcome. Our MC, Matty McLean, thank you so much for giving up your time, and I was at that polo event last year when you also was very excited actually to take on this opportunity, so that was great. But I'd also like to thank Ocean Bridge, who are sponsoring our MC today and sponsors our MCs at our events. So thank you to Ocean Bridge, appreciate your support for that. We also have a couple of life members in the room today, Bob Jago, Gary Monk, Joan Finlayson, Sir Ian Watson, John Bishop, Peter and Michelle Wall, and Aidan Bennett. So welcome to you all, and again, appreciate all of your involvement with the club. And finally, a couple of local MPs as well. So we've got wonderful Simon Watts down here and Erica Stanford over here as well. So welcome to both of you. Thank you for taking the time out. For those of you that are guests here today, and I know there are a number, you might be a little curious as to what the club does. You may have never even heard of the North Harbour Club. You may think that somehow we're linked with other organisations, business associations, but we're a standalone organisation that has the purpose to run events like these, to learn and listen to inspirational speakers, to network and to have fun. And clearly you guys have started that really well today. So that's good, and I hope that continues. But also, and most importantly, we are here to raise funds to support excellence in the North Harbour region. And the club was established in 1995, as Matty mentioned a bit earlier. And over that time, there's about 220, 25 members that are actively involved in the club. And during that phase, the club's given out over $3 million in grants to young youth on the North Harbour region, which is 13 to 25-year-olds who are world beaters in their area of specialisation. So in today's environment, sometimes supporting excellence isn't always seen as a good thing. And this club is unashamedly supporting excellence. So that's kind of a nice little segue, actually, to say later on we're going to have a couple of auction items, and we've got the amazing Martin Cooper that's going to facilitate some live auctions for us. Good chance to dust off the wallets. Make sure that you can stretch your arms nice and deep to those pockets, because I know some of you sometimes have little short arms and deep pockets, so stretch them out. Don't be afraid to bid, and look, who knows, you may go away with a great prize. In fact, maybe what you could do, just for a laugh, what if you bid for the person on your left? And if everyone does that, it'll eventually come back to you, right? Just an idea, just an idea. Okay, so, all right, bring it back to me. Okay, so the other thing that we've got going on is we've got the gala bid. And the gala bid, there's a number of items, and they were all lined up on the table as you came in there. It's an online auction. You can bid at any time. The great thing with the gala bid, what I really like, is when you get those notifications to say you've been outbid, it's disappointing. You don't want to be a loser. So bid again, right? Bid again. Try and outdo the person bidding against you, all right? So don't be afraid. It's okay to win at this one. And of course, we wouldn't be able to have these wonderful items and fundraising opportunities if we didn't have the support of those people that have generously given their items or experiences to the club. So thank you to those that have donated those items. And of course, why are we here to raise funds? Well, it is about the AIMES. It's about the AIMES Awards. And the AIMES Awards is an acronym. It stands for Arts, Information, Science and Technology, Music, Education, Sport and Service to the Community. So these are our winners from last year. And as I mentioned before, the club is all about excellence. And excellence is defined as being outstanding. And that's what we want to reward, are people that are outstanding in their chosen field. And there was a couple of people that I really liked last year meeting. And I'll give you just really briefly a couple of stories. One was a young lad by the name of Spencer. And Spencer is an environmental scientist and a conservationist. Someone that you may not be as a household name, right? And I can talk about some of our alumni that are household names, Lord, Lydia Coe, Jack O'Gill, Eliza McCartney, it goes on. But Spencer was so passionate about doing what he was doing to take care of the rivers and the waterways for all of us to enjoy. He was telling young kids how to manage these things going into the future, and it was an incredible inspiration to everyone in the room. There was also another character who was a bit of a laugh, and this guy, his name was Joshua. He was a professional conductor. Now, what he did is he turns up, he's got a raging mullet, a big head of hair, really looked like he should be in Guns N' Roses, but he loves getting in front of an orchestra of 70-odd people and conducting. Full, big personality. And again, the thing that really annoys me a little bit with some of these winners is that they're really good at 3 or 4 or 5 things. So Joshua, of course, not only can conduct, play the piano, the violin, a few other instruments, can sing, been in shows, done a number of things. And it's testament to the quality of people that we have in our North Harbour region. And our supreme winner last year was Zoe Hobbs. So, of course, someone that's done pretty well on the 100-metre dash, reasonably quick, and continues to break records. So we have a full range of alumni that have either been to the Olympics, going to the Olympics, are world beaters, are setting up tech companies, are growing things, are our future leaders. And that's what this club is all about. How do we support our future leaders so that our country remains in really good hands. So, over the past couple of months, our judges have been busy sifting through the applications for this year's winners. There was over 200 applications, and we're going to be able to reward the best of the best. And that's going to be coming up on Friday, the 7th of June at the Bruce Mason Theatre. So, it's going to be a great night. It's an evening that's based around a night in Paris. Full orchestra, 3-course meal, lovely fine wines, great opportunity to put the black tie on or the pretty dress and do your hair and makeup and have a great night out. Gentlemen, if you're struggling for a date night idea, this could be it. So if you'd like to get tickets, jump onto our website, northharbourclub.co.nz, buy your tickets, they're selling out fast. I'd encourage everyone to be there. But if you haven't been to an AIMES Awards yet, or if you've missed out and you're kind of one of those people, you don't want to be that person that never gets to experience it. So what we've got now is a quick little show reel from last year's AIMES Awards. It's a couple of minutes long. It'll give you a bit of a teaser as to the type of quality that we have at these events, the type of quality of the winners. So I just wanted to share this briefly with you, if I may.
Snow's glistening, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings a love song as we walk along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is possible.
It is the 28th year of the AIMES Awards, and to officially open the evening, I would like to invite North Harbour Club President.
We'll conspire as we sit by the fire to pass unafraid the dreams that we made, walking in a winter wonderland.
I just wanted to meet you. I don't want the tiara.
I don't want to hurt your head, it's quite... Please welcome Moses Mackay!
Mentre il mare aspetta la fine della primavera, sentir l'abbraccio del sole e il vento non sono più forte, coi colori dell'Italia.
I am thrilled to say that we've raised a significant amount of money. The total is $28,487. Thank you so much. That all goes to future AIMES Award winners.
The 2023 North Harbour Club AIMES Supreme Award winner, Zoe Hobbs.
I am honestly shocked. I was not expecting that at all.
I hope you have enjoyed your evening. It has been a very inspiring evening. It's been my delight to be with you tonight. Thank you so much. And thanks for buying the tiara too. Safe travels home. Bye.
So as you can see, it's a wonderful evening. All the music and entertainment is from either current winners or alumni from the club. So great talent, and as I said, it's a great night. And in fact, a bit later on, we're very, very lucky enough to have Shan Liu come and, again, Matty mentioned this before, present and also play for us. He was our 2023 AIMES Scholarship winner for music. So we look forward to hearing from him later. I'd also obviously just like to thank all of our sponsors that continue to support the club. Without your ongoing support, loyalty, contributions, we would not be able to do what we do. And I know in this, again, I mentioned this a bit earlier, but in a tough economic environment, you have a choice. And we appreciate that you choose to continue to support us as we support youth and excellence on the North Harbour region. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. And if we could just give them a round of applause, please. Just to close out a couple more points. Aside, we've got the AIMES Awards at one end, which is all about rewarding youth and seeing our excellence at that end of their journey. But the North Harbour Club also supports our North Harbour Business Hall of Fame, which is celebrating and honouring those perhaps at the other end of their journey who have contributed massively to our community. This year, the Business Hall of Fame, we've done a little bit of a change. We've moved it from a black tie dinner to a business lunch. And so we've got a great speaker coming along, former Prime Minister Sir John Key. And this year we're inducting Jolie Hodson from Spark and Martin Cooper from Harcourts & Co. So welcome again, and congratulations to you, Martin, for that. This is going to probably be a sellout event yet again. We've got Samantha Hayes as our MC. So don't miss out, grab your tickets early, and that will be a great lunch coming up. So just in closing, I'd just like to again thank everyone who has supported us here today. And in particular, I'd like to just call out Epicure Catering, Auckland Conventions, Benefits, who do all the printing and the table toppers. And on there are some QR codes. There's things in there if you want to find out about being a member. Don't be the only one that isn't at your table. So there's an opportunity to have a look. Euro Vintage, of course, with all the wines, and hopefully that will keep flowing so that when we get to the auctions, it's really, really powerful and useful and we raise lots of money. Our MC sponsor, Ocean Bridge, and of course, Lexus of North Shore. Thank you to our club staff, Erin, and the other team that support her, Jodie and Louise, and behind the scenes, to make this event what it is. And of course, thank you again to our Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, for coming along and taking the time today. We appreciate that. Just very quickly, in fact, when we did have Christopher here last in November 2022, I noted to him, and I presented him with a book, the North Harbour Club book, and in that book I said, you know, the club rewards excellence. It's about leadership and it's about inspiring change. And then I went on and I wished him every success because at that stage he was the leader of the opposition. And I said, look, I hope you can strive towards excellence, inspiring change and leading with effectiveness. And 136 days into the role of PM, I think he's doing a pretty good job of trying to wrangle the direction back in our country. So I appreciate that you are able to come back now as Prime Minister, so thank you for that. What I would say though is we do have Sir John Key as a lunch coming up. We've got Sir Wayne Smith as a lunch. So the only person that's not a knight at our lunches this year, I'm just saying, maybe something to aspire to, Christopher. So look, it's a big crowd. I do want you to have fun. We've got some great things to get through. Please do dig deep when we're looking at the auctions. But that's it for me. Again, thank you very much for coming along, and I'll pass you back to Matty. Thank you.
Yeah, another big round of applause for Mike Atkinson, please. Thank you so much. Boy, you do some amazing things with this club, don't you? I was just watching that video of the AIMES Games. It was so inspiring. It's great to see Hillary up there. Someone else told me Tony Street hosted an event recently. And I was thinking, you really do like your bucks and blondes to MC your events, don't you? Yeah, who's next? At this point in time, I do understand that you would usually do a balloon popping game. Is anyone familiar with the balloon popping game? We're not doing that this year. We're mixing it up. We're going to have a bit of fun with the Lexus of North Shore Heads and Tails quiz today instead. I'll explain shortly how that works, but before we get started, let's just have a really quick look at the all-new Lexus LBX in action.
You get an idea of where you're at in life based on the ads you're served online. Introducing the first ever Lexus LBX for a new generation of driver, you. Suddenly, you're considering a Lexus. Welcome to the target market.
Oh, doesn't that look good? Let's get to the quiz, shall we? It's really simple. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and ask you all to stand. If you think the answer is heads, put your hands on the head. If you think the answer is tails, your hands go on your bum, all right? It's as simple as that. If you get a question wrong, you sit down, and by the end, we will have one winner who will take home a $200 voucher for Ahi Restaurant, courtesy of Lexus North Shore Ambassador Ben Bailey. Are we ready to get into the quiz? If I can ask everyone to stand, please. No cheating as well. Make sure your phones are on the table. Thank you very much. All right, question number 1. The brand new Lexus LBX is available in 3 moods called cool, chill, and active. True or false? So heads is true. Put your hand in your head if you think it's true. If you think it's false, hands go on the bum. I'll tell you, that has knocked out a significant amount of the room. It is false. If you had your hands on your heads, sit down. Gosh, this is going to be a fast quiz, isn't it? All right, if you are still standing. Question number 2, how much money has the North Harbour Club charity given out to youth since its beginning? Is it heads for over 2 million and tails for over 3 million? Heads or tails? Heads over 2 million, tails over 3 million. Has everyone answered? If you got your hands on your bum, stay standing. Hands on your head, sit down. Question number 3. Christopher Luxon is New Zealand's 42nd Prime Minister. Heads is true, tails is false. Heads is true, tails is false. The heads have it. It is true. If you've got your hands on your bum, sit down. Question number 4. Question number 4. What percentage of Lexus sales in New Zealand last year were electrified? Is it heads 60% or tails 90%? Heads 60%, tails 90%. All right, you locked in your answers. Heads, sit down. Oh, there's not many. There's not many left standing. Question number 5. When was the first North Harbour Club AGM? Was it heads June 1995 or tails August 1995? I know. We're splitting hairs here, people. I'm going to need an answer. You can't split the difference. If you said tails, sit down. It was June 1995. Question number 6. The current coalition government makes up how many seats of parliament? Is it heads 66 or tails 68? Simon Watts, MP, sit down. If you also answered heads, sit down. It was 68 seats. Tails, stay standing. Question number 7. Has Lexus just released their first ever luxury yacht? Heads for yes, tails for no. Heads, stay standing. Tails, sit down. Is this our last? Does anyone else standing still? I think that's it, right? This is our winner. Yeah, congratulations to Paul, who has taken home that $200 voucher for Ahi. But who were our last two people standing? We've got one over here, and there was one more over here. So who was it? Who else just sat down in that last round? Was you? We've got another $50 voucher for our runners-up today as well. So. That was a bit of fun. Thank you so much for playing along. And once again, thank you so much to Lexus of North Shore. And thank you all so much for supporting today's charity event. I'd also like to, once again, it has been mentioned, but from me and on behalf of the club, thank Ocean Bridge Shipping for their NC sponsorship today. Thank you so much, team. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Lunch will be served really shortly. For those with dietary requirements, the staff do have your seating details and will have your dishes for you. During the lunch, trustees, staff, or club members will be visiting you at your tables for raffle ticket purchases for some fantastic prizes. So remember to dig deep today. Also remember to check out those silent auctions on the back black table over there. If you think you might like to outbid me, I've got my eye on a couple of things over there, so I'm very competitive as well. I don't like to lose. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you very shortly. Get involved as well during lunch. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. If I can have a little bit of attention, please. Thank you so much. I know there is still food out there and you're still eating. Please keep enjoying your lunch, but we are going to move on with proceedings. So grab your seat. How good was lunch? Oh, it was amazing. I loved it. Hope you all enjoyed it as well. I just thought before we get to our keynote speaker coming up very shortly, we'll get a quick update on the gala bid. We'll see who's in the lead for some of those amazing items, if we can get that up on screen. Oh. The 2021 bottle of rosé, sitting at about $400. The Wellington Phoenix football. Jan, you're leading that at 120. Who's going to beat Jan? Blake Douglas, $200 for the Studio Pilates intro course. So you're going to enjoy that, Blake, unless someone beats you to it. There's some amazing items out there. Please keep bidding, keep digging deep, because of course all of this money is going to an incredible cause. So keep getting involved. Go and check out those silent options. You can bid with a QR code. Get involved. But it is now, if I can get your attention, please, the time that we have all been waiting for. I'd like to please welcome to the stage the Right Honourable Prime Minister of New Zealand, Christopher Luxon.
Well, ka nui te mihi kia koutou, kia ora, good afternoon everybody. It is absolutely awesome to be here, and it's great to be here again, I think in another different capacity. I first came here as CEO of Air New Zealand and then as Leader of the Opposition, and to be here 136 days in as Prime Minister is marvellous to be with you all again. Can I just say congratulations to the work of the North Harbour Club. I have to tell you, I travel all over the country and there is absolutely nothing like this body. And it is pretty special and I think absolutely awesome when you see a bunch of business leaders actually wanting to invest in excellence and the next generation of talent coming through. And so I just encourage you all. I know it's a tough time, but if you can donate and you can contribute, thank you for even just showing up here today, but supporting this great organisation. I do want to acknowledge Lexus and to say thank you to you guys for sponsoring this series and everything that you do in this community. It is really special, and I know Erica Stanford was disappointed she didn't miss out on the car, but I appreciated the pitch that that brand new car could be our new VIP car fleet, but I'd sooner get an airplane at the moment if I can, a 757. The Lexus plane sounded good, sounded really good. And can I also just acknowledge the great leadership of Mike and also General Manager Erin, and it's great to be here with my good friends, the Honourable Minister Erica Stanford, the great Minister for Education and Immigration, is doing an awesome job. And also, and my other good friend who came into Parliament with me 3 years ago, the Honourable Simon Watts, who is our Minister for Climate Change and Revenue. And I'll just say to you, I think the good folk from the North Shore are doing well and are well represented in our cabinet, so along with Chris Pink, who can't be here today. And to Matty McLean, it's good to see you again too, my friend. I always thought Matty was a choir boy. He'd interview me on breakfast. He'd give me quite a hard time from time to time, but he's such a nice guy, right? He looks so nice and a choir boy. And then I don't know whether you saw Celebrity Treasure Island. And if you followed Celebrity Treasure Island, you realise he's the most devious, cunning, Machiavellian individual I've ever met. And I used to go in each week and do my interviews. He'd give me a hard time, but I'd just say to him, mate, I've followed another episode. Hey, did you make it? And lo and behold, he did. So it's good to see you too, Matty. Thanks so much. Hey, well, listen, the question that I've been asked a lot is, look, Chris, you've been in the job now 136 days. How are you feeling about things? And I have to tell you that, you know, a couple of things. I mean, the first thing is that it's obvious that we are facing some pretty big challenges. And when we look at it, Erica, Simon, myself, and our team, we are very conscious that what we need is a deep turnaround in New Zealand. Everything is not going swimmingly well. We don't need a bit of adjustment and realignment. We need a proper turnaround. And many of you in this room know exactly what I'm talking about because you've done it in your businesses. But it is actually, when you do a turnaround, you've got to do two things. You've actually got to look and confront the brutal facts of your reality. Even if you don't want to face up to that, you've got to be able to deal with that. And then you have hope, not just in a kumbaya feel sense, but because you've got a plan that you can get yourself to a much different and a much better place. And so it is obvious that we are, as we confront our reality, we've got some pretty tough circumstances to face up to and some tough decisions to make. We have come to power at a time when government spending has increased by 84%. We've come to power at a time when there's been more taxing, there's been 16,000 more public servants added into Wellington, and at the same time what we've seen is debt has gone up from $5 billion to $100 billion. And I want you to think about that because some of you have got debt challenges and mortgage rates and interest rates to deal with too. But our interest bill is now $8.3 billion, heading to $10 billion, and that is more than we spend on primary education and the police. So that is the situation we have, which is we've had a government that has spent more, borrowed more, taxed more, hired more, and rather uniquely and with a rather special skill set managed to deliver worse outcomes across the piece. So that is what we are all working our way through as ministers as we get on top of it. And there's no point now blaming the previous government. It kind of is what it is. And now we've got to face up to that as the new team and actually work out how we get the car out of the hole, get it into first and second gear, and then into top gear as we head down into a future from here. So I'm very conscious 136 days in, we're learning reality and we're facing up to that, so we know where we're starting from and what we need to do to get into a better place. But I have to tell you also, 136 days in, I feel incredibly optimistic about the future of the country. You know, this is an absolutely fantastic country. I get to meet incredible people each and every day. This morning I met 4 young Māori kids that had basically come through some incredibly tough circumstances and found their way through and were doing amazing things. And I was able to celebrate them with Prime Minister's Awards this morning in Wellington at a special breakfast. And so I see lots of people everywhere doing great stuff. It's you guys in this room choosing not just to manage your profit and loss of your businesses, but choosing to actually contribute and make a difference back to the community as well. I think we do have a great future. You know, we are bang smack in the middle of the Indo-Pacific region, where there are rapidly rising numbers of middle-class people that want New Zealand goods and services. We have strong institutions in New Zealand. We are a modern, multicultural country built on strong bicultural foundations. And I just think we should have an ambition that by 2040, 200 years after the Treaty of Waitangi, we want to be one of the leading small advanced countries on earth, period. And that should be the goal that we should go for. And there are no excuses for why we can't do incredibly well for ourselves into the future. But to get to that vision by 2040, we need to focus the next 3 years on a few simple things. And I hope the message is starting to come through. We need to get the country, as I say, back on track. And we want to do that by rebuilding the economy. That means we have to deal with this inflation challenge that we have right now, which is causing the cost of living crisis. What has happened essentially, many of you in the room will understand economic history, but when you let government spending go up by 84%, it drives into domestic inflation going through the roof. And when inflation goes through the roof, you have to raise interest rates. And when interest rates get raised, the economy slows down. And 4 of our last 5 quarters, we've been in recession, and then you get rising unemployment. And so that's why we're spending all our effort in the short term really getting a grip on inflation, using fiscal and monetary policy to be able to get that down back below 3%, because then we'll lower our interest rates, then we'll grow the economy, and then we get people in employment. So that's our first focus, rebuild the economy. The second area is we have to restore law and order, and because people need to feel safe in their homes, their businesses, and their communities. We have a big work program around that. And the third thing we're going to focus on over the next 3 years is building better public services with a particular emphasis on education and health. So I just would say that as a new Prime Minister coming in and new to politics over the last 3 years, it is a unique place. You have solutions and ideology that often goes roaming around in search of a problem to attach to, versus what we do in our world, which is we define the problem very clearly and precisely, and then we put common sense, practical solutions towards those problems that we have. So hopefully you've got a sense of it already. We're a government of action. We're here to get things done. There's a few things that we're doing to run government differently and to get the public service to understand the what, the why, and the how we're going to do things in this country. And we've had our first 100-day plan. And in there we had 49 actions. A lot of it was undoing some dumb stuff from the previous administration, knocking off the RMA 2.0 before Christmas, but bringing forward fast-track RMA consenting so that we can get things built in this country. You've seen us get rid of ute taxes, Auckland regional fuel taxes. We've got rid of the fair pay agreements, as they were called, but not really fair. The 90-day trials have been reinstated. We've got cell phones banned. Fantastic thing. Thank you. Erica and I were passionate about that. And we had it on day, I think it was our first cabinet meeting, and we said we want to get the cell phones banned for the beginning of the school year, and we want an hour of maths, hour of reading, hour of writing in primary and intermediate schools. And it was a first lesson because the education officials came to us and they said, oh, I don't think you quite understand, Prime Minister, Minister. This is going to take about a year and a half of consulting. And I said, I don't think you kind of understand. It is actually going to happen by the end of January so that our kids show up on day one ready to go. And it's interesting because Erica and I are getting lots of reports from principals and teachers and parents. And I even ask the kids now, have they got the mobile phone in your school? No, 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 and I really like it. And what's happening is the noise levels going up in playgrounds is what principals are saying. And that's a novel idea that people are actually talking to each other physically, not just virtually. And our kids are actually playing and building connections and learning how to build people skills as a consequence. And we've got a lot less cyberbullying already happening in a matter of a couple of months. So those are examples of practical, common sense things that we just said, no, we have to get that done. And the same with the basics and teaching the basics to our kids as we go forward. We've started also to do the gang laws, which is we want to ban the gang patches in public places. We already do it in government buildings. We're giving powers to police to crack down on illegal guns, which is driving into the violent crime that we're seeing. And we've also stopped the funding of cultural reports, which we think leads to excessive discounting of sentences by judges as a result. So all of that has been the first 100 days, and you would have seen last week we then rolled forward to the next plan, which is a Q2 action plan with 36 actions in it that has things like our Family Boost program in it to give relief to 100,000 families with household incomes up to 180,000 on their early childhood expenses. We have some of the most expensive early childhood costs in the OECD. We're making sure we're rolling out tax relief in the budget because we are going to deliver tax relief to low and middle income working New Zealanders, what we've called the squeeze middle, the folk that are waking up every day, getting their kids to school, going to work, paying their taxes and still can't get ahead. And they deserve a break because it's been 14 years since there's been any tax relief for them. And so we'll adjust those tax brackets and get that done through the budget. You'll hear a lot of opposition saying, oh, can we afford tax cuts? Absolutely, yes we can, because our tax cuts are fully funded. We're raising new revenue, thank you Simon, as Minister of Revenue, and we're also cutting inefficiencies and making savings and getting rid of the waste that sits within government to do that. And I would sooner have people keep their own money in their own pockets to spend it and save it as they see fit, rather than give it to a government that then chooses to waste it, not that our one would. So hopefully you've got a sense of that. We've also got a big focus on school attendance. We've got a major challenge, as you know, with only 47% of our kids going to school for 90% of the term. And if 54% of them don't make regular attendance, and the worry to Erica and I is by the time they get to 15, they've lost 1 year of schooling before they've even got to the age of 15. So we've got a big focus on the school attendance plan. Erica's doing a brilliant job. We've got to introduce structured literacy. We're going to teach kids to read using something called phonics, novel idea, used to work well. We know the basics and it can work again. And we're going to make sure we introduce charter schools, our military academies and youth offending coming up in this next quarter. And we want to streamline and accelerate med-safe drug approvals as well. So have a look at them online. You'll see it. We're being very transparent. We put up each quarter plan. In this case, there's 36 actions we march towards as a government focused on delivering over the next 3 months together. One of those actions is actually to make sure we reintroduce better public service targets, because we need to rebuild the economy, restore law and order, deliver better public service. And so as a result, I announced the better public service targets. And what we're doing here is saying, look, if you're running a Rotary Club, if you're actually running a business or a hospital for that matter, you need to be very clear on the goals and the targets of what you're there to do. And I want everybody in the organisations in the Ministry of Health knowing that they're coming into work today to make sure that they shorten up those emergency department wait times. They speed up the immunisation of children with immunisations under the age of 2. They work hard to get people in a 4-month period into elective surgeries and into seeing their first specialist appointments. So targets really matter. Targets focus an organisation and people's activity, and then we want everything driving towards those goals. So there's a lot of things that we do in government. We'll have a lot of indicators, but I've just declared the 9 big things that I think are actually important. And as a result, it focuses our coalition government and our ministers on what they're going to be held accountable for, the CEOs of those agencies, and also we're being transparent with the public by quarterly reporting on our progress on those 6-year goals as we go from a bad situation to a much better situation as a result. So that's the way we need to go, because I want to hold ministers and CEOs accountable for delivering on those targets, and ultimately we want to introduce CEO remuneration and executive pay based on delivery of goals and outcomes. So the 9 things that we're thinking about won't surprise you in the spaces that we've picked. There's 2 that we've picked out of the big 5 health priorities that we want to focus on. Shorter stays in emergency departments. We want 95% of Kiwis to be admitted, discharged or transferred from an ED within 6 hours. And today, sadly in New Zealand, that number's running at about 70%. So 30% of Kiwis go to an ED department and have to wait more than 6 hours before they get treatment. And we want that to be, 95% getting served within that period of time. The second thing is we want to have shorter wait times for elective treatment. That means we want 95% of people to be able to access elective treatment within 4 months. Sadly, at the moment, that's running at 60%. And you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? I'm getting clear on the reality of where we start from, setting the ambition over the next 6 years, and then every quarter reporting on our progress as we go through that. In the youth offending and crime space, we want to see reduced youth offending, particularly 15% reduction in the total number of children and young people who are the serious, persistent reoffenders. We need to make sure that we're reducing violent crime, bringing that number down by 20,000 fewer people. In the welfare space, we want to get people off welfare into work. It's really important to us. The previous administration had 70,000 more people go on job seeker unemployment benefit at a time of job shortages and low unemployment. And it's actually, we care about those people, but we can tell you life on welfare is not the way forward. We need you in work, and that's good for you and your family and your futures. So we want 50,000 fewer people on the job seeker benefit, and there's a lot of program and work that is required to make that happen. On the education front, as I talked about, we want 80% of our students present for 90% of the term, right when it's 46% today, well below what you'd expect in Australia, Canada, the UK, Ireland and other places. And then Erica and I are very fixated on making sure that 80% of our kids are showing up at Year 9, Form 3, ready to go at the curriculum levels that they need to be at. And today it's probably averaging across maths, reading and writing about 50%. And then finally, on the housing spaces, we want a 75% reduction in households, because the shameful thing is 3,100 families woke up in a motel room this morning here in New Zealand. And of those families, 58% of them have spent more than 12 weeks in a motel. So it's not emergency accommodation at this point, it is permanent living. And you think about the implications for that family around getting their kids into a school, when they're bounced around from place to place, it has a whole bunch of implications, and we think housing is actually a big issue for us, that if we can solve that, we actually solve a lot of our other social challenges that we have. And then Simon is going to make sure that we deliver our net carbon zero 2050 targets, and in particular our 2025 and 2030 emissions reductions budgets. And we are committed to those goals. If you're a climate denier or minimalist, give it up, because it's real, and you may disagree with me about that, but the means by which we do that will be very different from the previous administration. We want to make sure we balance the economy and environment. We want to make sure that we don't just shut down farming and send all of that production to less carbon efficient countries around the world, which actually makes greenhouse gas emissions worse. But we do have to give our farmers the tools, the technologies, the science to be able to manage their emissions down over time. So those targets, I suspect, won't be a surprise to you, but hopefully you got a sense of we're under new management, we're going forward in the world, we're open for business, but what we've got to do is get clear on the big goals and the big rocks and the targets, drive everybody towards those, and then have quarterly action plans along the way. And we have a very good culture building within our cabinet, and I hope you've got a sense of it, and many of you have already commented to me already, that we've got the right people on the right assignments. You know, when you've got someone like Erica who understands education and immigration, is really into the detail of it and knows what needs to happen, it's fantastic. When you've got someone like Simon who's passionate about climate change but wants to do it in a pragmatic, practical, environmental way, that's brilliant. Shane, you know, if I think about Shane Retty, doctor, wants to be in doing this job because he's a medical professional. Matt Ducey, mental health practitioner, suicide prevention, his sole motivation for coming to Parliament, our first mental health minister. And the list goes on, you know, as we go through that. So I think we've got the team, I think we've got the targets, and I think we've got the work plan, and we've got the drive and ambition to actually put some aspiration back into the joint to get it moving. If I can just comment, given it is a bit more of a business crowd, on some of the economic sides of it, what I'd say to you is we do have a massive fiscal repair job ahead of us. When you have that level of government spending, that level of bureaucracy, that level of taxation, and also borrowing that has taken place, we have to get the books in order, because we need to get the economic engine right, because we can't have a 2-cylinder engine trying to support a 6-cylinder set of public services and expectations with the New Zealand people. So our first thing is that we're discovering there is huge amounts of cost overruns. You've seen us talk publicly about the ferry project. It was supposed to be $750 million. It turned into $3.2 billion. You've seen Erica talk about the school building projects, where 350 schools were promised brand new school buildings, but we found out there were billions of dollars missing in the budget that wasn't there to allocate against that. There was other things going on around what are called time-limited funding, where the money just runs out and it's not funded beyond a certain date. So our Farm Act drugs were all not going to be funded after July this year. Well, we've got Kiwis on drugs. We need to get the drugs to them. But that's another $2 billion you have to go find for that. The school lunches, they'll give us grief about school lunches, but actually we're bringing school lunches back because it stopped being funded from January the 1st next year as a result. So there's a lot of time-limited funding, and there's been a huge amount of wasteful projects. $1.2 billion spent on Three Waters. $300 million built on Auckland Light Rail for 6 years and not a metre of track laid. Let's get Wellington moving. $500,000 is what it costs to build a speed bump in New Zealand at the moment. So I know I'm giving you a lot of numbers, and I'm not meaning to freak you out, but it actually is important to know the detail of the reality, and I want to give you a sense of sort of the things and the conversations that are happening within our cabinet and our team as we actually come to grips with what we need to do. So the choice is, if you're sitting in my position or Nicola Willis's position, and her and I were debating it again last night, you've got sort of 3 choices, really. The first thing is you can carry on putting your head in the sand and keep borrowing and borrowing for future generations, which our kids and our grandkids will pay, and carry on doing things the way they've been done. You could actually put the whole thing into reverse and drive things into a hard austerity measure, which we've seen in other parts of the world, and we've experienced that ourselves here in New Zealand. Or you actually find a third way through, which is actually say, we are going to be a good government that's going to put a culture of good, daily, consistent financial discipline back into the joint, and we're going to do that day in, day out, year in, year out over the term that we're in government. And that's the course that we think we can plot. We think we've found a way where we can actually end the wasteful spending and keep working at cutting the waste away. By having those targets, we're asking those CEOs to move all their resources, their people, their money, to focus on those things. Stop the dumb projects, stop the projects and initiatives that aren't delivering outcomes for New Zealanders, power up the ones that are, get things very focused, get rid of the consultants. Apologies to the consultants I've met in the room already. But as I said, they've got lovely Lexuses and nice boats at the boat ramp, so they enjoyed the last few years, but the next few years will be very lean. So apologies in advance for that. Well, no apologies, really. I want the $400 million out this year. There's been a lot of that sort of going on, and what we think is a good government should be able to end the wasteful spending, prioritise and protect our front lines, put more investment into key things like health and education, which we need to do, but make sure the money's working harder and delivering better outcomes. We need to give lower middle income working New Zealanders tax relief because we want to incentivise work, we want to encourage them at a tough time. And then thirdly, we've got to grow the country, and ultimately that is the great opportunity that all of us in this room need to put our shoulder to the wheel behind. And when I think about economic growth, because yes, we'll fix up inflation, we'll deal with the cost of living, and we're going to go hard at that in the first 18 months. But then we've got to start immediately, I think, in the second half of this year, our growth agenda. And when we step back and we say we want to be one of those leading advanced small countries of the world, and you look at other small countries that might do some things better than us, some things worse than us, what makes countries wealthier? It comes back to 5 key things. The first is that we have to make sure that we have a world-class education system. We need to make sure we've got modern, reliable infrastructure in this country, and we have a massive infrastructure deficit. We need to embrace science, technology, innovation, so we can create those value-added products and services and sell them to the world. We need to get rid of red tape so that businesses have certainty, smart regulation for sure, but they can invest and know what they're going to be doing. And then we need strong international connections to the world. And that's why Simon and I are heading out next week to Singapore, to Manila, to Bangkok, to make sure we build relationships in Southeast Asia and signal very strongly we want to double our exports in the next 10 years, and we've got a lot of work to do to make sure we get trade and investment flows happening between our countries. I met an investor from Singapore just in the break, and I was thinking about that. New Zealand is the second worst country in welcoming foreign direct investment into a country, behind Mexico in the OECD. So if you've got billions of dollars to help us build roads, you choose not to bring your money to New Zealand because it's just too hard, and we've got to make that much easier for people as a result. So long story short, hopefully you've got a sense of it. 3 big components and principles driving our agenda. In the economic space, if we're going to have a great economy, we need to be driving everything around improving economic productivity, how we make things more prosperous, not people working harder, but we create more value out of our economy. We need to make sure we've got social investment underpinning our social policies, helping target the most vulnerable with powerful targeted interventions. And then we want to deliver an improved environment, and that means for us really making sure we're delivering on emissions reduction as we go through. So I want you to say, I want you to know, I appreciate it's a challenging time for New Zealanders. It has been over the last few years, but we do have a new government. We are determined to get our mojo back. We want to have a lot of ambition and aspiration. It's awesome to be celebrating excellence in this country. We don't want to bring people down. We don't want to see the tall poppy. We want to celebrate success and achievement. And I think we have a very positive and a very optimistic future. And I can say that because I have the unique position of meeting Kiwis every day doing incredible things that just says to me, this country is jam-packed with ambition and empathy. And those are good things, and many of you in this room have demonstrated that in volume. So can I say again, thank you for caring about the country. Let's get it going together, government, business, community and iwi, working together on the problems, doing the things that we can uniquely do to make the country better and to realise all the great potential that we have in it. Thank you again, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
Good to be with you.
Lovely to see you again.
Sorry to denigrate you, mate.
No, what was that?
I was trying to be
devious,
nice.
cunning,
Machiavellian.
Machiavellian. So should I be following you into politics? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not a career politician, so, I'm different. But, Dr. Evil could be your thing.
Hey, I know you've got to go very shortly, but we just wanted to open the floor to a couple of really quick questions, if you don't mind. If anyone does have any quick questions, we've got a couple of roaming microphones that will be coming around.
We'll get the mic to you. You've got to tell me your name and how long you've been part of this group. Hang on, the mic's right behind you.
Right behind. Thank you. My name's Naya Merrick. I've been part of the North Harbour Club for about 12 years. Thank you very much, Mr. Luxon, for a fantastic speech. It was very motivating. I love the fact that you've got really clear focuses. Nothing you said helped me explain why you repealed the anti-smoking laws. Could you please explain that?
Yep, really good question and fair question. Where we got to on that is that our actual smoking laws in New Zealand have fundamentally driven our daily smoking rates down from about 17% down to this last year, about 6.7%. And our 2025 target for New Zealand over multiple governments, multiple generations, has been driving ourselves to 5%, which is really important. So our view, and you may disagree with us, is that actually the proposal by the previous administration, which had only just passed legislation, it hadn't taken effect, it was due to take effect in the coming years ahead, was actually going to drive more of a black market, and there was advice from the officials around that, and arguably more ram raids and crime as a result. And I appreciate you may disagree with me strongly about that, but we felt, look, the current existing legislation that was in place a couple of months before the election actually has been doing the job. In the last 12 months, daily smoking rates went from 8.6 down to 6.8%, and as a result, drove another 2 points down. And so it is leading legislation. It has driven New Zealand to very low levels of smoking rates. We want to be able to drive that further down, and we will continue to do that. We have a difference of view that the previous approach was going to drive a black market and crime, and I appreciate there's a strong debate about that, but that was our position. With respect to vaping, we've cracked down pretty strongly. You would have seen in our 100-day plan to say, look, vaping's been a great tool, as you would well know, in terms of getting people off smokes and into vapes, and as a result, lowering the health risk associated with all of that, and we want to support adults with vaping. But under 18 vaping is out of control, and go talk to the principals and the teachers and the parents, and it's been disrupting learning, it's been disrupting a whole bunch of stuff. So we are cracking down big time on retailers, stepping up fines from $10,000 to $100,000, for example, banning disposable vapes, and doing a number of other things over the course, which we'll be bringing to, we announced, but we'll be bringing into the second half of the year to crack down on underage vaping, which I think is a different set of problems that we'll come to regret pretty quickly, if not already. So I know that there's a disagreement. I don't think we probably communicated our position very effectively in the first few days as a new government being formed in coalition, but I just tell you genuinely that was our view, was that looking at the advice, we just didn't think that that was necessarily the path forward. We actually felt genuinely the legislation works and has been driving our rates down. Even when you look at Māori rates, going from 38% down to about 16% over the last 10 years. I look at Pacifica rates. Any which way I look at it, it's been very effective, and it has been world-leading legislation.
All right, we're going to have time for one more quick question.
Sorry, that was your way of saying too long an answer.
It was, yeah. I usually,
no, on
going. Breakfast, I got to shut you up, but I don't get to shut you up here. So, anyone else have?
I think you just asked me the same question over and over, mate.
Who else has got a question?
Hi, Prime Minister.
Hey, how are you?
My name is John Berry. I'm from Pathfinder. You mentioned New Zealand's housing crisis, which emergency housing is an absolute disgrace for a first world country. You also mentioned our shortfall in infrastructure in New Zealand. Interested in your view on how private capital can work with government, particularly KiwiSaver, to help solve some of the shortfall.
Yeah, fantastic question. I think the more I've thought about this over the last 3 years, and Erica and Simon and Chris Bishop and Simeon Brown and myself and Nicola Willis, is that housing is actually at the heart of a lot of our social challenges. And it's, if you just zoom out a bit, we're living in a country the same size as Great Britain and Japan, with the same land size, and yet we have more expensive houses. And we consciously or unconsciously have chosen to create this situation amongst ourselves. So the first thing I think we need to do is we need a 30-year pipeline of infrastructure across the country that's not just ideas and thoughts, but actually as well scoped out projects like I see in Singapore and New South Wales or Victoria. We need to be able to walk into regions of New Zealand, sub-regions, and do 10-year city or regional deals so that actually we are aligned on the key bits of infrastructure and local and central government, rather than being a punch and Judy show, debating, discussing, actually jointly sign up for that's the program for the next 10 years. And if I lose my job or a mayor loses their job, that carries on. And then we want to have a national infrastructure agency that actually is very welcoming to public-private partnerships so that we can get infrastructure pulled forward and built quicker. Then you get to housing. So housing is a big challenge. And what I really want is I want councils to go out and actually consent, rezone 30 years worth of housing growth tomorrow. And the reason being is that then we're very clear about where the development is going, rather than the ad hoc situation of farm gets sold, property value goes up 15 times, new subdivision whacked in, without the pipes, without the roads, without the schools, without the hospitals, and it's just been very ad hoc and tactical, not strategically master planned as such. Then we need to make sure that we're opening up funding and financing tools in particular, and then we need to make sure that we are giving councils incentives for that growth. Because if you are sitting in council at the moment, you build the roads, the pipes, the water, and then you wait till that subdivision gets built before you get the rates, whereas if you're in central government, you get the GST. So consciously or unconsciously, councils are anti-development and central governments tend to be pro it. And then you get to housing, and everything is linked to supply. And so, we were just talking about it before, building costs in New Zealand, up over 41%, 50% more expensive than Australia. That's why, Chris Pink's going after overseas building materials and a whole bunch of reform that needs to happen there. So we've got to be able to rezone that land so we can get more houses built. We're doing things in the rental market, because actually if you can't buy a house, you rent a house, and we're opening up interest deductibility, bright line tests, balancing landlord-tenant priorities. Thirdly, we've got to open up social state housing. We have 25,000 people on the wait list, and a lot of that is Kāinga Ora is poorly administered, poorly run, and I've asked Bill English, he's just given us a draft report to review that because we have massive liability sitting there in a poorly governed and managed organisation, and we believe we want KO building maximum number of houses, but in a very tight scope, a tighter scope, but we also want to get capital to community housing providers, and whether it's the Salvation Army, whether it's the other trusts that we see, Habitat for Humanity, iwi, Māori Property Trusts, that actually can get capital to, that actually can put pastoral care into those communities and do a good job. And then, as I said, we want to get people out of emergency housing into that sort of setup. But everything's a supply, and on housing, it's linked to ownership, rent, state and social, and emergency housing, and you have to deal with the supply side. But then you come back to your consenting laws and all those sorts of things. So it's all linked up together, and I think what we've done in the past has been very tactical and done some stuff, but actually haven't looked at the system and then driven the systems change that we need to do. So that's why we took 2 months, put in the fast track provisions. So if we can get State Highway 29 built not in 2065, but in a much shorter period of time with private capital and a toll road that then opens up new housing subdivisions, that would be great.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for being with us.
This is a much more interesting meeting. I'm going to take one more question.
You are going to?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting it. Who's in charge here?
That's fine. I'm in charge. Well, yeah, I mean, last time I checked, I was Prime Minister, but I sort of, sometimes it doesn't feel like you can actually do control everything, but okay. I think I can make
I'm going to listen to the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yes. One more really, really quick question, and you have to give a very quick answer, okay?
Sorry,
I will wrap you up if you start to ramble,
okay.
all right? We've got one down the back there really quickly.
Thank you. Stu, I've been involved in the rural sector all my life. I applaud you for some of the policies that you're looking to change in the rural sector and helping ag sector get back on track and go forward. One thing you haven't addressed, and it's a topic that has a lot of noise around it, unjustified I might say, is live export.
Yeah, so I can talk live exports. We're not in a position in New Zealand where we've been declining 4 of our last 5 quarters to turn off sectors or opportunities of growth. We're up for live exports, but it's got to have 2 very strong provisos and conditions around it. One is we have to have world-class transportation for care and welfare of animals, and secondarily, we can't send those animals to countries that have lower standards than New Zealand. So we need them certified with as good, if not better, animal welfare standards as us. And if those 2 conditions can get met by the industry, then we're up for it. But if not, we're not up for it. So it's pretty simple. But I just say agriculture, value it. They're not villains. The government went to war with you guys over the last 6 years. We value what you do. You're the backbone of the New Zealand economy. We've got to get you moving. We want you embracing technology to get more value out of that sector as well.
Prime Minister, thank you so much.
I'm just going to get the Prime Minister. He's got another very important meeting, and all his team are saying the only time he has control is when he's up here on the stage. So they want him to get to another meeting. But I spoke with you about... Yeah. No, you notice he always wear the New Zealand fern. So we're going to get one, and it's got a double pin on it so it doesn't droop down. And we're going to auction that off after the music because you've got to go. And I've got a little pin for you. It's the 1 cent, my first 1 cent I ever earned in real estate. So for this afternoon, you may wish to wear that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, please, another massive round of applause for the Prime Minister. Thank you so much for coming in today. Gosh, absolutely fascinating. How times have changed since the last time he was here speaking 18 months ago. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how things are looking on the gala bid. These auctions will close at 2:35, so if you have your eye on something, now is not the time to be shy. Get bidding. We've got some amazing bids. $575 for the framed Tom Abercrombie jersey. Some incredible things up for grabs. Please get involved and bid because you want to win, right? I know you're all very competitive people in this room today. And I wanted to remind you why, if I can get your attention, please. If If I can get your attention, please, I wanted to remind you why we are raising money today. It is because of the phenomenally talented young people of the North Harbour region, like this young man. Please welcome to the stage Shan Liu, the winner of the 2023 AIMES Scholarship Award for Music. I just wanted to ask Shan a quick couple of questions. What an amazing thing to win that scholarship last year. What did that mean to you to win that?
It opened so much opportunities for me. Like, I got to play with so many more orchestras. I got so much insightful feedback from more masters, more professional pianists, and so much more.
You've been traveling around the country competing as well because of that scholarship.
Yes.
How have you been going?
It's pretty good. Later this year, I'm going down to Wellington to perform a solo concerto with the National Youth Orchestra.
Amazing. And for people here who are donating money today, how huge is it as a young person to be on the receiving end of that? It must be massive.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I know you didn't want to speak too much, so we won't keep you up too much, but you're going to perform for us today as well. What are you going to be playing for us today?
I'll be playing Ravel's Alvarado.
Oh, beautiful. Please give it up for Shan Liu. How phenomenal was that? Another massive round of applause for Shan Liu. A really, really clear way of seeing just how influential those funds that we raise on days like today are for the young people of the North Shore. They go on to do incredible things. And he's only 14 years old, so talented. Let's have a quick look at how things are looking on Gala Bid. Remember that the auctions will close at exactly 2:35. In a few minutes' time, you will get a text from Gala Bid to let you know that there's only 15 minutes left to bid. So you can all take a minute, have a quick check, make sure you're in the lead on the things that you want to be on the lead for. Now that we've also seen just what the fundraising can do, it is the very exciting part of the event where we encourage you to open those wallets, dust off those credit cards as we head into our live auctions. We have some amazing items up for grabs today in our live auction. And to run the auction today, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Martin Cooper from Harcourts Cooper & Co.
Thank you very much. We've had the 100-day plan achieved. Thank you to the MPs, the local North Shore MPs that are here. We've got the 36-point action plan going forward. So just swamp in here if you want to add another 10 or 15 points to it. Erica's here and Simon's here. The Prime Minister's run away. So, but what about the talent you've just seen here? This is what this group rewards and celebrates excellence. So for all of you, with the 100-day plan done, the economy, better times are definitely ahead. Oh, I see a wealthy man in the crowd here. That's such a relief when you're the auctioneer. Good to see you here, Craig, and I will keep looking at you for the rest of the auction. But we've got, I've snared the pin. I got that pin off the Prime Minister, so that would be quite helpful if you want to succeed in your career, support New Zealand. So we might start off by doing the pin first. So here's the chance to pin a Prime Ministerial pin. Do we have a model for it? It is, yeah, here it is. It's brand new, shining, worn today by the Prime Minister. So do we have an opening bid to get us started? Just to improve your look. $100,000 he thought we'd get for it. Thank you so much. That'll do. That's a wrap. Auctions are over. At $100, he'll see me to $500 for the Prime Ministerial pin. He's never given one away before except the last auction I did, and I got $5,000 for it. Come on, the North Shore. He'll send me $200. At $200 now. Old Baith at $300 now. Table 23. $400 at the back. $500 at $500. It's not enough to sponsor anyone, but it's a little bit of a help at $500 anywhere. Do I see $600 anywhere? All done, Simon. You should get one of these. Have you? Oh, he's already got one. Erica, what? At $600 out of the electorate funds. No, you're not allowed to do that. At $500, I'm selling. Oh, $6 now. $800. At $800, my new favourite friend down this end at $800. Don't let him have all the fun. Don't let him deflate. You can take that pin home for $900. All done. Selling away at $800. Going to your lapel. Sold. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Now, we did that first because there is an item of potentially high value. So I showed the painting to somebody before. There it is. And one of the fine guests said, this is the Prime Minister's artwork. Maybe he's missed his calling, they said. When I looked at it, I thought, what is it, a cake? It is the beehive. And I can tell you, if you paid for this, you put it on the mantelpiece of your home, we could probably get another $100,000 to $200,000 for your home. Because people would say, obviously, a connoisseur of art, putting this up in their prime place at home, they know quality and I want to live in that home. So he'll start me away at $200,000 anywhere. obviously didn't work. I had a dream that something happened like that, and maybe after another 6 years of the National Party coalition, you'll just easily drop a couple of hundred on something like that as the economy prospers. But he'll start me away at $300, at $500 anywhere for a donation. Do I have 500 anywhere? There's a few real estate agents here. You're all sitting on your hands. The market's a bit quiet. Not very happy with that. Anybody, oh, look, it's hard to see it, but up here it's very good quality, and it's got a signature on it. Just the texture, the design. $500 anywhere. Who's making a donation today to take this home, the proud owner? Nobody. Oh, well, I'll bid 500 for it. At 500 with me, I'm taking it home. Oh, I've got it bid at 500. Would you say 600? Thank goodness for that. That's 600. I want it more. I'll say 700. I've got it back, though, at $700. I was going to buy a new Lexus, but no, not now. I'm buying art. I'm investing in art. He'll see me to 800. Would you go to 800 and save me? Thank God. At 800, he's bought it off me. At $800, I'm selling away. The Prime Minister, thank God he's left the building. He'd be so damn disappointed at the North Shore crowd. All of the current electorates are held by National Party MPs, so he's thanking you for that, but he's not thanking you for undervaluing his artwork. But thank you very much. Sold to you. Well done. I think on our screens and on your programs, we just go to 2 further items. Thank you for your patience with me as we raise money for this great cause. And thank you to Lexus. This is a cool experience. We're looking at the right one. I can recommend this, getting courtside at our New Zealand Tennis Open in that January period. It's good fun, isn't it? And they've got the strawberries and the champagne, and you're really courtside, the furry balls whizzing by. It's a wonderful experience. I would suggest Love All is your opportunity. Invite yourself and 4 of your friends. He'll start me away to get courtside at the tennis. Have a good experience. Who's up for it? How much would you say? All the real estate agents are coming in now at $500. That's a good sign. At 500, at $750, would you say, Sue? At $750. That's $750 to go courtside. $1,000 here. $1,000 over here. You're at home watching it on a TV. What an experienced traveller to get out for a date. But it's here at $1,000. Do I see it anywhere? $1,250 anywhere. Who's going to the tennis? It's selling away at $1,500 now. At 15, could I say? I've got 15 here. Would you say $1,750? At $1,750. They said that was the wealthy table as well. And you're coming through at $1,750. Would you say 2? At $2,000 at the back of the room. Yeah, I've got $2,000 at the back of the room. $2,000. Don't let them have the fun. It's split between 5. It's as cheap as chips. At $2,250 if you like. Well, I see it's going. They're going. Oh, another one. 2,500, sir, is it? Oh, good. I was just wondering if he's listening. At $2,250, they don't let me do property anymore because I forget the numbers. At $2,250, now at 2,500, somewhere 2,500. At 2,500, going to the tennis. Aidan, why don't you buy it and we go to the tennis? Craig, you're the wealthy man in the room here too. At $2,500, selling away. Oh, would you say 3? 2,600. At $2,600. At $3,000 now. At $3,000. So close. You just had one little lob and he's there taking it off you at $3,000. Going to the tennis. Last chance. Yell out if you'd like to take it off him. All done. Going to the tennis. Sold. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the one some of you gentlemen have been waiting for. The weekend of romance. Mark, I can see you smiling away. Mark from Lexus, look at him. Stars in his eyes. This is the one he's been waiting for. That weekend of romance, getting under the canopy, and look how excited this table is now. Who's going away for the weekend of romance? Look at that. Just the canvas between you and the big wide world of nature. No neighbours to worry about all the noise you're making. Just enjoy yourself. He'll start me away. It's a value of $1,100 at $500 now. Corey, thank you. At $500. He's going glamping at $500. How much do you say at the back? $750. Oh, $600. That's $600. That's $600. Bill Speedy, you always have a romantic look about you. What do you say? $700. Everyone's looking at you, Bill. Tell them you're a romantic and bid me at $800. At $800. Oh, this is so interesting. And look at the love between you two. Oh, at $900 you bid. At $900, the two of them are going away. At $900, this is exciting. What about you, Simon? Cabinet salary now. Very romantic. Don't be down at the dairy eating ice creams all the time. Take your wife away. At $900. At $1,000 now. At $1,000. Bill, you'll love it. At $1,000, we're selling away. Craig, I'll call you out. I know your wife. I talked to her a lot, and she said, we need more romance. Are you coming back in? She's constantly telling me, now's your chance. Otherwise, you're at home watching Netflix, and you're having Oh, you're going. Oh, $1,200, is it? I can't remember where we're up to. At $1,200, Bill, look at this. Your wife's bidding now. At $1,200, he's getting nervous. At $1,200, going away for romance. All done. Last chance. $1,200. I'm selling it. Oh, I think it's wonderful. Congratulations. Oh, well, that's the wrap. Thank you very much.
Incredible. A massive thank you to Martin from Cooper & Co. here on the North Shore for his incredible auctioneering today. And thank you so much for those who dug deep to bid. Of course, there is still time to bid on the silent auctions if you would like. There is some amazing packages up for grabs still that you can get your hands on. I really wanted to quickly take this time to just run through some of our amazing sponsors and donors because without them today wouldn't be possible. So thank you so much to Lexus of North Shore, Euro Vintage, Sky City Auckland, Sir Peter and Kath Mayer, Ben Old, Lisa Connor, Jodie Rawle, Halleyview HR Consulting, RSM New Zealand, Bellingham Wallace, Wild Lily, Tom Abercrombie, Studio Pilates, Takapuna, and New World Milford. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated with some incredible prizes up for grabs today. We are going to do the raffle very, very shortly. We're just waiting for one table to finalise their raffle tickets, and then we'll do the live draw of those raffles. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, just quickly checking there are no more raffle tickets that need to be collected. No more raffle tickets. Okay, if I can get some quiet then. Excuse me, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to do the live raffle draw now. If you've purchased a raffle ticket, get ready, cross your fingers and toes. To do the live draw, I'd like to welcome Lexus of North Shore's CEO, Mark Jago. All right, Mark. The very first prize is the Lexus of North Shore Ultimate Vehicle Detailing Package, valued at $800.
7052.
Raffle ticket number 7052. There we go. All right, next up is the New World Milford hamper, valued at $350, and this goes to
12466.
12466. Do I have a hand up? 12466. Anyone? 12466. If we don't hear from you, we will redraw. It's not me. It's not me. No, great. Okay, we're going to redraw then. It's over here. 12466. Well done. We're going to now do the business.
Oh, business card.
Thanks, mate. Do you need a little token? There you go.
Congratulations.
All right, and now we are going to do the business card draw. Up for grabs, we have 2 tickets to the September Lexus of North Shore lunch with guest speakers Sir Wayne Smith and Rick Solizzo.
Michael Powell from Davis.
Michael Powell, congratulations. You're heading to the September Lexus of North Shore lunch. Hey, Michael, you can sit down. We're just going to keep a hold of your business card and we'll get in touch with you, all right? Thank you so much. And thank you to Mark from Lexus of North Shore. Now, I have to run. I have a radio show that I have to host this afternoon, so I'm going to leave you in the very, very capable hands of your club president, Mike Atkinson. Thank you so much for having me today, people.
Okay, all right. So just like before, just like earlier today, we practiced, remember, when it was all about me. Oh, there we go, Mark. You've done that before with your kids. Okay, so just nearly there. We're nearly there. So let me just quickly grab your attention, and I am just. This for me is a little bit more challenging, right? Because I've got to read some notes, and that's normally how I would speak. So I'm trying to fill the shoes that Matty's left. So I'm going to read some things that are probably not actually meant to be read. So if I do that, for example, it says, I will hand you this card. I'm assuming that's a note for me rather than for me to read that out. But that's okay. We'll have a little laugh as we go through this. So anyway, let's close the formalities. So that does bring us to the end of the lunch. Thank you to those that have, hopefully now the silent auction, the gala bids just closed over. I know I was sitting with a couple of people and they thought, yeah, I've got it. Oh no, I've lost it. So let that be a lesson to all of you. Just bid higher next time, all right? But we're gonna close those soon. And those of you that were able to win, you should get some notifications coming through on how you finalise the details shortly, and then head over to the team and on the auction table over there to collect your prize. Also, thank you to Shan Liu for his wonderful presentation, piano playing earlier today. Again, just to highlight the quality of youth that we have in this region. And I don't know if you saw how fast his little fingers were going. I'm struggling to play chopsticks and he's flying. So amazing talent and only 14 years of age. So really, really incredible talent. Of course, this event would not be possible without our sponsors, and again, we've spoken about our sponsors. So again, if I could thank Euro Vintage Wines for the wonderful wines that we've enjoyed, Benefits for the printing, Live Wire for all the audiovisual work, Auckland Conventions, and of course our MC sponsor, Ocean Bridge, and of course a really massive thank you, and again a round of applause for Lexus of North Shore for their continued support. Thank you. And can I also ask that we just take a minute to give a round of applause to the wait staff that have done an amazing job this afternoon, so thank you. Just quickly to wrap up, we do have some great events coming up this year. In May, we have our Ben Breakfast event with William Pike at Regatta Bar and Eatery. Now, our Ben Breakfast format is a breakfast. It kind of is a giveaway in the title. That does mean you need to get up a little bit earlier if you're interested in coming along. We have some great speakers, and it's in and out. You were done by 8:30. Great chance to network. I know some of you are networking now, so if I can get your attention towards the back of the room, otherwise I'll come down there and slap around the ears. All right, so finally, the other one that we've already spoken about a couple of times is our AIMES Awards Gala Dinner. That's in June. Please don't be afraid to book your tickets. Come along, it's a great night. You've seen a little snapshot of the talent today on stage, but also in the show reel. If you're not sure whether you should be there or not, just buy a ticket and come. I'll be there. Come and say hello. All right, so please come along to that event. It's a great night out. So do book those tickets on our website. We do have our August lunch, our Business Hall of Fame luncheon with Sir John Key, where we will be inducting in our 2 laureates for this year into the Business Hall of Fame. So again, that'll be an amazing lunch. Feel free to come along and join us and celebrate our inductees. And then finally in September, we have our last Lexus of North Shore lunch for the year, which will be with Sir Wayne Smith and Rick Solizzo. And that'll be, again, a really fabulous afternoon. Great chance to listen to one of the good minds in rugby, but also a really top individual and someone that's got some interesting stories to share. So the year's been filled with amazing guest speakers. We run some incredible events. So if you are here today as a guest and you'd like to join the club, please don't be afraid to do so. There's a number of options how you can join. You can join as a corporate. You can join as an individual. You can join as a next-gen member as well for those of us that are a little bit younger. There's plenty of information on the tables. Otherwise, come and see myself or Erin or one of the trustees. We're floating around. We'd love to help you out. So with the formalities just about done, you are able to stay here and enjoy the beverages a little bit longer. The bar will shut at 3:30, so you've got 45 minutes. Some of you probably have to think, oh, damn it, I've got to go off for the kids and the school rush. Look, it's going to be terrible traffic. It's raining out there. Another half hour on the side of the road won't hurt them. Stay and network. All right, enjoy your time here. And just to be really clear, though, those of you that have enjoyed the beverages a bit too much, please don't drink and drive. Do get yourself home safe, all right? And just before we close, hopefully we've got a number. All right, so fantastic to know that today it looks like we've raised a little bit over $15,000 through the various auctions. So thank you very much for your support today. That's a great effort. Well done. All right, well, that's it for me. Get back to your networking. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. As I said, we've got 45 minutes. Make the most of it. Thank you very much for taking the time out this afternoon. Appreciate it. Thank you.
so confused because there are a million things you